Germany are out of the 2026 World Cup, and the manner of their elimination makes this one of the biggest tactical and psychological shocks of the tournament. After a 1-1 draw with Paraguay, Germany lost 4-3 on penalties, suffering their first ever World Cup penalty shootout defeat. On paper, this looked like a match Germany should control. They had the stronger squad, the bigger tournament history, and they finished the game with 75.4% possession and 21 shots. But tactically, this was a classic example of possession without penetration. Germany had the ball, but Paraguay had the clearer plan, the stronger defensive structure, and the better execution in the key moments. The first major tactical theme was Paraguay's defensive discipline. They did not try to dominate the ball. Instead, they accepted long spells without possession and focused on protecting the central areas. Germany were allowed to circulate the ball, but they were rarely allowed to play through the middle with real danger. Paraguay's shape forced Germany wide, and that meant Germany's attacks became predictable. The pattern was often the same: slow build-up, sideways passing, then a cross into the box. Germany had 21 shots, but their expected goals total was only 1.49, which shows that many of those shots came from difficult positions or crowded areas. Paraguay's defensive block was compact and aggressive when needed. They were not simply sitting deep and hoping to survive. They defended their box with authority and then looked to break forward quickly through Julio Enciso and the wide channels. Enciso was one of the most important tactical weapons in the match. From the opening minutes, he showed Germany that Paraguay had an outlet. He carried the ball forward, attacked space, and gave Paraguay a direct route up the pitch. Inside the first 2 minutes, Junior Alonso had already forced Manuel Neuer into action. That early shot on target set the tone. Paraguay were not going to be passive. Germany's biggest problem in the first half was the connection between midfield and attack. Julian Nagelsmann made a bold selection call by starting Deniz Undav instead of Jamal Musiala, and Germany moved towards something like a 4-4-2 structure. The idea seemed to be to create more presence up front and also provide more stability when possession was lost. But the change did not really work. Germany looked more stable only in certain moments, but they lacked invention between the lines. Without Musiala from the start, Germany missed a player who could receive under pressure, turn, and disturb Paraguay's compact defensive shape. The double-six midfield of Alexander Pavlovich and Felix Nemicha also struggled to give Germany the right balance. Germany looked technically clean at times, but the midfield did not provide enough force or vertical running. The build-up became too controlled, too slow, and too easy for Paraguay to read. Paraguay were comfortable allowing Germany to pass in front of them. The problem for Germany was not that they could not get the ball into wide areas. The problem was that once they got there, Paraguay were already set, already compact, and already prepared to defend the cross. Paraguay's opening goal in the 42nd minute exposed Germany's defensive weakness. The move came from a second phase after a corner, with Miguel Almiron pretending to cross before chopping a clever reverse pass down the line to Matas Galarza. Galarza then delivered the cross, and Julio Enciso arrived completely unmarked around the penalty spot to head past Manuel Neuer. From Paraguay's point of view, it was a beautifully worked goal, clever movement, good deception, and clinical timing. From Germany's point of view, it was extremely poor defending. Enciso should never have been that free in such a dangerous central area. That goal was also historic for Paraguay because it was their first ever knockout stage goal at a World Cup. It also continued a worrying German pattern. Germany have now conceded in 10 consecutive World Cup matches, their longest such run in the competition. That stat is important tactically because it shows this is not just about one bad moment. Germany's defensive structure has been vulnerable across multiple tournaments. Even when they dominate possession, they remain open to mistakes, transitions, and individual lapses. Nagelsmann introduced Leon Goretzka, and that change made sense. Germany needed more physical force in midfield. Goretzka added more running power and more presence in the central zones. The midfield before that had looked too technical and too slow. Goretzka gave Germany a player who could attack space, compete physically, and help push the team higher up the pitch. Even so, Germany's overall attacking pattern did not completely change. They still relied heavily on wide delivery and crosses. The equalizer came 9 minutes after the restart, and it showed Germany's best attacking route on the night. Florian Wirtz delivered a dangerous drilled cross, and Kai Havertz produced a clever header into the bottom corner. This was Germany at their most effective quick delivery before Paraguay could fully reset good movement from Havertz and quality from Wirtz. Wirtz was Germany's main creator, finishing the match with 4 chances created. He also ended the tournament with 3 assists, which highlights how important he was to Germany's attacking output. But the equalizer did not lead to a full German takeover. Germany had momentum, but Paraguay remained organized. They defended the penalty area extremely well. Jose Canale was outstanding in this respect. He won all 5 of his tackles and made 15 clearances. That is a huge number, and it tells you how much Paraguay relied on box protection. Canale and Gustavo Gomez gave Paraguay the defensive leadership they needed. Germany kept putting balls into box, but Paraguay kept winning the first contact, clearing second balls, and refusing to allow clean chances. This is where the match becomes a tactical lesson in efficiency. Germany had the territory. Germany had the ball. Germany had the shot count. But Paraguay controlled the quality of chances. That is the difference between sterile domination and effective domination. Germany's possession looked impressive statistically, but it did not consistently break Paraguay's structure. Their attacks often lacked central combinations, third man runs, and quick rotations around the box. Instead of pulling Paraguay apart, Germany often played into Paraguay's strength by crossing into a crowded penalty area. Nagelsmann eventually moved closer to his pre-tournament structure. Musiala came on for Undav, and Havertz returned to a more familiar attacking role before Nick Woltemade was introduced late on. But by that point, Germany were chasing rhythm rather than controlling the match naturally. Musiala did add technical quality, but Paraguay's block was already settled and confident. Germany needed a player like him earlier to unsettle the defensive shape, especially in the first half. When Paraguay were comfortable defending in front of the ball, extra time brought the most controversial moment of the match. Jonathan Tah appeared to score from Nathaniel Brown's in-swinging corner, heading in at the back post. Germany thought they had finally found the breakthrough. But after a VAR review, the goal was ruled out because Waldemar Anton was judged to have impeded goalkeeper Orlando Gil. The decision was highly debatable. The contact was brief, and there is a strong argument that the block did not clearly stop the goalkeeper from playing the ball. In real time, the referee saw nothing wrong, and the players were ready for the restart before VAR intervened. From a refereeing point of view, it looked like a marginal call being re-refereed rather than a clear and obvious error being corrected. That decision will dominate part of the German reaction, and understandably so. But tactically, Germany cannot reduce the whole defeat to that VAR moment. They had enough of the ball, enough territory, and enough time to win the game before penalties. Their problem was that they did not create enough high-quality chances. They left the match open to a shootout, and once it reached penalties, Paraguay had the goalkeeper and the mentality to finish the job. Shootout added another layer to the story. Germany had scored their previous 15 World Cup penalties and had won all 4 of their previous World Cup shootouts. Their reputation in this situation was almost mythical. But this time, Paraguay broke that history. Orlando Gil saved Kai Havertz's first penalty, giving Paraguay an immediate advantage. Joshua Kimmich responded for Germany. and Jamal Musiala also scored, but Gill then saved from Nick Woltemade. Antonio Sanabria had the chance to win it for Paraguay but missed, and Manuel Neuer then saved from Fabin Balbrina, briefly giving Germany hope. But Jonathan Tah, whose extra time header had been disallowed, blasted his penalty over the bar. Jose Canale then stepped up and scored the winning penalty, completing a heroic individual performance. Canale's role is important because he symbolized Paraguay's whole tactical identity in the match. He was dominant defensively, strong in the air, aggressive in duels, and then calm enough to score the decisive penalty. Paraguay's win was not random. It was built on a clear plan: defend compactly, protect the box, use Enciso and Almirni to create transition moments, and stay mentally strong when Germany applied pressure. They did not need to outpass Germany. They needed to outlast them, and they did. For Germany, this defeat raises major questions. Was the team selection too cautious? Should Musiala have started? Should Kimmich have played in midfield? Was the midfield pairing too technical and not physical enough? Why did Germany rely so heavily on crosses when Paraguay were defending the box so well? These are not small questions, because this result continues a troubling tournament pattern. Since winning the World Cup in 2014, Germany have not won a knockout game. They failed in 2018, failed in 2022, and now, even after getting out of the group, they have fallen a game before the last 16. The bigger issue is that Germany still looked like a team searching for a clear tournament identity. They have talented players, but their structure does not always maximize them. Wirtz created, Havertz scored, Musiala added quality from the bench, and Neuer still made important saves. But the collective performance lacked sharpness. Germany had control, but not enough threat. They had possession, but not enough variation. They had pressure, but not enough clarity in the final third. Paraguay, meanwhile, produced one of the great World Cup knockout shocks. They were lower ranked, they had less of the ball, and they spent long periods defending. But they executed the details better. Enseco's movement gave them a constant outlet. Almer's creativity helped unlock the goal. Galarza's delivery was precise. Gill made the decisive saves. Canale defended like a leader and then scored the winning penalty. Every key moment had a Paraguayan player stepping up. So the tactical summary is simple. Germany dominated possession, but Paraguay controlled the spaces that mattered. Germany attacked often, but Paraguay defended the box better. Germany had the historical advantage in penalties, but Paraguay had the better execution on the night. This was not just a lucky upset. It was a disciplined, intelligent, emotionally strong performance from Paraguay and a deeply flawed performance from Germany. In the end, Paraguay did not beat Germany by playing like Germany. They beat Germany by understanding exactly what Germany could and could not do, and by forcing them into the kind of game where possession alone was not enough.
To this tactical review, this was an AI voiceover audio review created from reading and analyzing multiple journalist and pundit reviews available online. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to watch more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, The Square Cut. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.